The first meeting with your buyer is very important when you're making a presentation with the new items that you're coming out to the marketplace. There will be, many vendors out there that present these items to these buyers, and it's not surprising that they barely remember you sometimes because there's so many products they see. And for you to successfully pitch your product, you really have to stand out in front of these buyers so that you become memorable with them.
It's really great when we go into a meeting and we have a prototype product. And the reason for that is it's easy for the retailer to conceptualize where that product would fit in his lineup. If you have that box and you have great photos on there, great colors on there, and you have done your homework, he's going to see it very quickly. And believe me, with as many competitors there are in the retail environment, vying for that space on the retail shelf, you better do your homework ahead of time, and you better have some way to show the retailer that you know what you're doing.
You want to be able to show him the prototype so that he could touch it, feel it, see the dimensions, how the layout's gonna stand out in his SKU, and all that stuff is only possible by having the actual product sample.
Being able to create a prototype for a customer is a unique service for that customer, primarily because we're able to kind of do R&D for them. The roll-in equipment, we've been able to create relationship with customers that we did not have the ability to do so before, primarily because we're able to get involved in the ground floor of the marketing department. When the marketing manager comes out and says, I need to do a prototype, before the roll-in equipment, we just didn't have a solution for them. And so we were able to develop that relationship with them from the beginning phases of that initial product launch.
Mac and cheese nugget product was a perfect example of a packaging where we really needed to show the prototype to the buyer, because it had a double panel display unit where we have one side of the unit portraying the half of the display and the back side of the product portraying the other half side of the display. And for us to explain that to the buyer, I don't think he would ever understood unless he saw those prototypes and visualize how that's going to look in the stores.
With the roll-in equipment, you can print directly onto the actual board material that the customer is requesting. And so, for example, if we're printing on a foil board material, you're able to lay down white and print 4-color process on top of that. It could simulate UV coating textures, it could simulate embossing textures, it could simulate spot UV coatings and matte coatings, and it could do the scoring and the perforation directly onto the board itself, which saves a lot of time on our end when it comes to making these mock samples. With our operation, we run both flexo and litho-based products, so we run the roll-in equipment as well to make mock samples for pressure-sensitive labels. The return on the equipment has more than been exponential.
Of course, when you've designed something new and something different to fit in a place where it has not been before, it's difficult to communicate that to a buyer. One of the products that we've developed is called Coats. The first Coats product that we developed are flavored panko breadcrumbs. We've developed it in a 5-ounce pouch, and we've developed it in a display box. Now, the display box is perforated so that you can rip the top off of it and place it there in the meat department on display. But for our club store customers, we designed the box so that you could turn it sideways and you would see a totally different panel that they would purchase the entire box at one time. And with nothing in your hand to show them and just to talk to them about it, you may not be able to get your point across. Whereas if you've got a well-developed prototype to walk in there with, it instantly allows him to know where it's going to fit in his shelving or in his display space.